Hi, Mariana, it's here. Thank you for joining me today. I just received a question saying like that, I'm codependent, what should I do? So today the subject is how to stop codependency. Codependency is unhealthy relationship pattern in which you rely on your partner or people in your life to provide your happiness, approval, sense of identity, and most of the time validation. You think and feel responsible for other people's feelings, action, choices, and well-being. If this sounds familiar and you are in a relation like this, see what you can do, because today this topic will cover how to stop being codependent even for those who are currently in codependent relationship. And I'm sure till the end of this podcast you will discover how much is affecting your life and what you can do to get rid of this behavior. For those who doesn't know, I'm a life coach and NLP practitioner. If you need my help, you can contact me via my email. I do work with people online. If you have any subject you want me to come up with, leave it in a comment bar. Otherwise, any suggestion or comments will be appreciated. The process of stopping codependent behavior, let me be honest with you, is not going to be easy, but it will worth it when you will succeed. That's because you'll be able to regain full control of your life and you'll be able to build healthy relationship that will help you become a better person. So if you want to correct this codependency, first you have to acknowledge. The first step to get out of this codependent relationship is to recognize, acknowledge that there is a problem. This can be difficult. It's not an easy, especially if a person has a history of codependency. But doing so, acknowledging, it's important. Even if it takes that you need help or assistance of loved ones or a professional intervention, but it will worth everything. Now it is very important you understand codependency as a problem and how much is affecting your life and the consequences. In few steps, I will give you some tips to work with that, and that will help you to get out of codependency or to correct this behavior. As I mentioned in my previous podcast, that codependency is very complex. Can be anything that you end in codependent relationship. It's the best way if you can go back in time and remember what event or anything happened in your childhood that was developing this codependency. I have to be honest with you and tell you, which I haven't tell other people, you have to know codependency is behind fear. You are afraid of something. And if you remember any event happened in your childhood and develop this trauma to become codependent, it is something related with fear. You are afraid of people judging, validation, you need people around you. So there is a fear. If you can find out what is the reason, that will be so much of help. That will help you to overcome this codependence, and that will help you to build more balanced relationship. Once you recognize your codependency, you begin to understand how much is affecting your life, how much it's harming you. You can now discuss with your partner or with family members or whoever is in your life close to you. This conversation can take few different routes depending on the severity of the codependency and in all overall. If your partner is controlling you and you are afraid of opening up this subject, my advice is to have somebody with you, a relative or a friend, or try to be in a public place. Let your partner know there is something in your life, you're not happy with that, and you need to see a specialist or you need to do some changes so he will be aware that you will change your behavior, you will change the way you are, not to create another problem. Then it's very good to talk and let your partner know. If your partner is willing to be there for you and support you, that will be a plus. If he doesn't, you have to understand that you do these changes for your own good. You're not doing for anybody, because once you do these changes, you can have a better and healthier relationship. So you have to understand that if you start this journey, you have to be by your own if your partner is not going to be there. If he's going to be there, that's a plus. But you have to be sure that you want to do these changes. And if you want to start to work this by yourself, you don't think to go to a specialist, to a counselor or to a therapist. Otherwise, these are few tips where you can pay attention and work with it that will help you correct this behavior. Once you understand you are in a codependent relationship, the first step is to identify the patterns in your life. What you are doing frequently and why. It's very important to know why you are doing that. You need validation, you're afraid. So identify these patterns. Second, you have to focus on yourself. Look after your needs and what makes you happy. Recognize and understand the codependency. Part of your new journey should involve understanding codependency. How it affected you then, how it's affecting you now, how much it's hurting you, why it is important to change this behavior, why it's important to learn to have a healthy relationship. Recognize yourself as deserving and worthy person. You realize and admit it that you are codependent and the unhealthy relationship and start attending to your personal needs and desire and promise to continue exploring all that codependency as to prevent yourself from falling back into this behavior. So it's very important to know all these steps. Learn what a healthy relationship looks like. Not all unhealthy relationships are codependent, but all codependent relationships are unhealthy. So it's very important to learn and set boundaries. Boundaries for yourself. Boundary is a limit you set around things you are not comfortable with. They are not always easy to set these boundaries or stick with that, but with a little discipline and attention, of course, you can. Especially if you are dealing with long-lasting codependency, it's not easy. But once you know that you want to do these changes, it's sure going to work. You might be so much to make other people comfortable that always you consider yourself the last one and you can't forget about your limits. So it's very important to set boundaries and stick with that. By practicing and value yourself and identify your own needs will be an important role in that process. Remember, codependency starts from a childhood. If you like this topic, you found it useful or valuable, don't forget to like or press the subscribe button for more subjects like this one. If you want to be notified every time I post something new, don't forget to press the bell. So codependent people tend to rely on validation from others instead of self-validation. So you have to trust yourself and believe in yourself. This tendency towards self-sacrifice might help you feel closer to your partner. When you are not close or doing things for them, you might feel aimless, uncomfortable, or experience low self-esteem. So learn to know yourself and validate yourself. Try to spend time with people who treat you well, people they love you. Do things you enjoy and you like. Take care of yourself, not always taking care of others and forgetting yourself. Let go of negative self-talk or judge yourself. Learn to love yourself. In a healthy relationship, partner should care about your feelings and you should feel safe to communicate your emotion and your needs. You should also feel able to speak out, to voice an opinion that even if it's different than your partner, you should learn of saying no to things which you are not comfortable with that or doesn't please you. You have to know how to stand for yourself and make a good decision, not hurting others, but you have to include yourself. You have to think, do I like to do that or I don't? Am I ready to do or I don't? You shouldn't be afraid to speak out and say no if you don't feel comfortable with something. This is one of the things codependent people they oftenly do. Hope this information will help you understand how you can correct this behavior and raise an emotional balance and develop strong self-esteem. If you didn't press the subscribe button till now, appreciating my work, you can still do it. Till our next meeting, don't forget, I love you with my heart and I hug you with my soul. Bye.